Hey guys, this is Pretty Podcast with Marcus Howard. Today, me and Courtney Johnson are in the building,
I am here,
and he's present,
very present.
as he says. And today, we're going to just elaborate on a couple of topics. They may vary depending on, how the conversation is going. So let's get it going, guys. This is episode 8, and this is Pretty Podcast with Marcus Howard and Courtney Johnson today. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is episode 8, Purity Podcast. I'm here with one of my friends, Courtney Johnson. We've been connecting on a different level this past week or so, just trying to gather ideas and talk about the reality of things. Recently I became aware of his positions that he is in, as far as his work arena, outside of the things he does for the community with his nonprofit organization. With me being in a similar arena, I've noticed that being African American in it, you kind of face a different view due to being in corporate America. But one concern I do have, and one question I like to ask anybody who works in that arena that's African American is how they handle, the different approach that they have to carry in that arena with different races. To me, I've learned that you have to show a different side of of your mind frame, because being an African American, that they expect you to be a certain way. With that said, I faced a lot of discouragements, but overcoming them, is what keeps me pressing forward. And I'm always interested in knowing how another man does that. So I'm gonna ask Courtney today how he handles his situations and being African American in these meetings and possibly feeling less valued while in these settings, and what keeps him positive during them. It's pretty hard and it's pretty difficult to explain to someone who's not who doesn't have that experience or credibility towards it, because often there are only 1 to 2 black men in that room anyway, and the ones that are in there, they're pretty quiet. They don't like to actually elaborate on what they go through, because we could face termination. So it's like we gotta carry ourselves in a certain way, man. I'm talking about all across the board, your behavior,
attitude, everything, man. All of that.
Attitudes.
That's why I say be your own boss, bro. Be your own boss, so you don't gotta worry about those kind of things. But definitely, everything you touching on is real, man. It depends on what city you in, and depends on what position you hold as well, too. So being a executive director of a nonprofit and being in the city that we live in, Evansville, is like minorities is slim here. I think the percent last time I checked, and I could be wrong, but I know it's below 20. So last time I checked, it was like 14% minorities, African American. I think 9%. So population 130. So I mean, you kind of add that up. So it's like it's really slim, man. So when you separate yourself from a group doing some of the things that you're doing, I mean, you're really gonna stand out. So being able to be in those rooms, and I've been in those rooms, man, where sometimes it's only me, the only African American in the room, or 2 or 3, but it's always we're outnumbered. But I feel like just being able to carry yourself in any situation, man, is definitely key. I don't care if I'm in a room full of millionaires. I don't care if I'm in a room with just homeless people. I mean, I'm in a room with a bunch of different people, man, depending on what the situation is. I have a nonprofit, so I'm always in different situations, man, and just being able to stay grounded for real, and just keep my mind right, man. I think a lot of people deal with these situations, like kind of what we're talking about, being that guy in a room in corporate America, just depending on what job you have and what city you in. So from experience, man, that's what I try to speak on, what I know. I don't like to talk. And
it's true, though. I feel like the fact that you are in these situations and very proactive in them, it allows you to be creative outside your work area, and do things like like host like Dust Bowl events, things like that, man. And you know what I found out? When you step outside your work arena, it kind of upsets a person who actually is in that work arena. It'll make them, look at you as like, what are you doing? But, people just don't understand that you can work on multiple things, but it all may be on the same origin of what you're actually doing, as far as like working for the city. And I found out that that's a real big test, like being able to show different creative sides of yourself. And I know you're about to start a podcast. No one knows that. This is the first time that we're actually going to talk about this right now, and I thought that would be a great topic too, because your podcast is actually going to show and prove that you do multiple things.
Yeah, most definitely.
And I think that's like a type A leader.
Man, that's the podcast thing is something I'm excited about. I tried it out a long time ago, and I feel like it's all about timing, man. The timing is right. I'm passionate about radio and TV, so instead of actually getting on a radio station and trying to add something else to my plate, I feel like a podcast I can do my own thing, man. I can speak about what I want to speak about. Nobody's telling me what I can and can't say, and I'm just excited to even start this journey, man, because I got a lot to say, bro. I feel like I got a lot of knowledge, and I got a lot of things that I want to put out there, and I feel like people will listen. So
yeah, I know they will, because I mean, as we've talked about what you're gonna do, man, you got me ready to listen.
Man, that's what it's all about, man.
Like my platform of the podcast is a total different realm, but as he told me what his is going to be about, man, I'm highly interested, because it's also something that had me contemplating, like, damn, should I do mine like that? You know, but he brought me back to reality, saying, nah, man, just stay in your lane, because this is my lane. But his ideas,
you good at what you're doing, man. Yeah. This works for you, and I tell people all the time, man, what works for you works for you, and it might not work for somebody else. So again, that's why I say I speak from experience, man, because what I talk about and what I've been through, some people might be able to relate, some might not. But again, I think the whole podcast stuff, man, it's a beautiful thing to be able to put your voice out here and let it be heard, and just speak about what you want to speak about. And if people tune in, they tune in, and if they don't, they don't. But I feel like, man, people are going to tune in. I got a lot to say, and I appreciate you even throwing me on yours, man. It's the 8th episode, so you've been consistent, dropping knowledge and really inspiring people, man. That's what it's about, to be honest. So yeah, that's what I want to do in this podcast journey for, man. Shine some light on some things.
That inspiration word is real. I know that much, man, because I don't know about you, Courtney, but if I never got inspired, I would have never done anything like this, or I would have never cleared my mind to become what I am today. And so it's inspiring. Excuse me, guys. Inspiring somebody is like, I think I told Courtney the other day, it's like the definition of success to me, because it's like helping someone do what they are trying to do, but actually showing them the way, in a sense, which is so important. You know, it's so beneficial, you know, really when it's credible. And I know when he starts his little propagating on his podcast, I know every word is going to be credible, and his experience is going to prove that in his words. And that's one thing people do take heed in. I found out is they'll listen to someone who actually has experience on what they're talking about or what they're doing, which is most important. When you're even just talking, you can sound accommodating, or you can check yourself and just be a more integral person, which is what we need. You know, we need compassionate people, we need compassionate listeners, we need to come together, man. And that's one thing Courtney, I found out, is good at.
Yeah. And everything that you're talking about, man, as far as just inspiring people, I feel like I don't just speak that, I'm living it too. So I think people respect that. Going back to my nonprofit, I'm like, I get so much support on that. I get so much support, bro, because people know it's legit. Like, I'm not just doing it for show. I'm not doing it for likes. I'm not doing it for retweets or social media in general, but I feel like people really respect me as a person. And it's like, that dude is doing this and he's just not talking about it. Like, he's really out here making some serious moves in the city that I grew up in. So I think that plays a part too, because I'm from this city. Like, I chose to stay instead of leaving, and coming back was a hard decision, because there's a lot of things that I want to do, bro. And at that time, there was a lot of things that I wanted to do, and being in this city wasn't one of them. And when I came back, I'm big on faith, bro. So I feel like God brought me back for a reason. And when he put that vision on me, I'm like, I got to do something about it. and all the things that was going on in the city when I came back. I'm like, I was hearing about it, but like now I'm seeing it. So I see the kids struggling. I see kids that need mentors. I see annual events and different things that's not, I'm not knocking anybody that's doing them, but I'm like, I can put a twist on it, and I feel like I can really, I can do it just a little better, and I feel like I can really bring people together. So bringing certain events back and doing certain things that some people might have done or might be doing, I'm like, there's no reason why I can't do it as well. So having a nonprofit, man, I even got pushback from some people. Why you want to start a nonprofit when the churches are doing this? Why you want to start a nonprofit when such and such got one? I'm like, bro, because I want to. Like, and that's something I want to do, and that's something that was on my heart, and God put it on me to do it. So I'm like, nobody's going to tell me what I can and can't do. And since I started it, bro.
True statement.
Yeah, since I started it, it's been crazy. It's been a blessing, bro, just to see how we've grown over the past 4.5 years, man, and how many people we've inspired.
Yeah, you have been moving, man. Like at a pace, like I think I said, like I always say, non-striving. Like, man, do you guys understand when I say that? Like non-striving, meaning he has placed a determination on certain goals, but he's letting it come to him without striving, and when it doesn't come to him, being discouraged by that. So his reaction and his like ardent steps to his goals are non-striven. I don't think you guys understand that. That's like preparation times 10. Say, these things that Courtney has accomplished say he never reached those goals. Without pacing himself, that could have discouraged him and caused him to just say, you know what, I'm done doing this stuff. I didn't succeed in attaining that one goal. But since he's been moving at a pace, hey man, everything has been done greatly. Man, that's like done greatly. Hey, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I attended one of his events. What was it? We were just talking about we had the
black and white masquerade.
The black and white masquerade. And that was dope, man. I had a great time. I even invited some people that I didn't think would have a good time because they were foreign exchange students, so I just wanted to get them out into the city just to see different things in Evansville. Yeah. But at the same time, they didn't know that they were going to be a part of an event with someone that's a positive influencer here. So, with that said, they had a great time, and they thanked me for encouraging them to attend it. And that was all Courtney's thing, man. And that's something that was well put together, man. A lot of things he's doing that everyone is doing. And I think we were talking the other day about like how millennials. I even had this conversation with my mentor, and he's even noticing it. Like how millennials, they're leaving the city to start something, not understanding that they can just start it here.
Man, you can build and create anywhere, man. And I don't understand some people like just wanting to get out, be in a bigger city, and I get that. But I know a lot of people come to me and talk to me about certain things as far as you staying here. Like, why do you want to stay there when so many things are not right as far as just diversity and being one of them? It's not diverse. And people are like, man, if you were in this city, for instance, example, Atlanta is always where I wanted to be because of social, like, just all of that, man. Just the nightlife from radio and TV.
I've never been there either, bro.
Oh, man, it's crazy. The opportunities that you have, and African Americans are thriving there. So it's like, and I have a lot of connections, not only in Atlanta, but just everywhere, bro, and all over. And I feel like coming back, even with what I'm doing, I have a nonprofit. So coming back was a big deal because if I'm gonna do this, giving back, I might as well give back to my own city and get back to people that I know, people that I grew up with. So it's like coming back home was a huge decision because I'm having an impact in my city. And it's like a lot of people, man, you can go somewhere else and kind of piggyback off of what somebody else is doing. There's a lot of guys, man, my age that have nonprofits in Atlanta.
Really?
I don't know too many guys in Evansville, African Americans like that.
No, there aren't zero.
Yeah,
that experience here is next to zero.
So it's like, bro, that was one of the things, man. Like you can create anywhere, and that's just my way of thinking. Again, I know a lot of people feel differently about that, but I'm like, I feel like I can create anywhere. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do wherever I'm at, and I feel like
and you're reaching every platform though.
Yeah,
and that like I said, that'll make someone mad. And it's up to you how you handle that situation, man. I'm really big on like how one individual has to react to something, you know, like, cause man, I'm telling you, things conjure up in the day. You have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, most definitely.
And like reacting to these negative things, man, are what, you know, that's your challenge right there. Can you
pay
act
attention to that
proactively?
Yeah, you can't pay attention to that. I just tweeted ignore ignorance. I just said something about that.
Ignore ignorance.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't really pay attention to all that negativity and all of that kind of stuff, man. I know when I was younger, and that's what it's about, growing, bro. Like when I was young, I used to entertain a lot of that nonsense, man. And now I'm at a point where I have too much on my plate and I have too many things I'm trying to accomplish. So it's like if I pay attention to a comment or what somebody's saying or any of that, man, that's a distraction. I don't have time for distractions, bro. I got too much I need to do. So it's like I got to stay focused, man. If I'm trying to get done what I want to get done or what I want to accomplish, I can't be paying attention to what somebody's saying or what somebody else is doing. And that's another thing, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go too deep into stuff, man. I got to say something from my own podcast.
Hey, no, this is for you.
No, most definitely.
This ain't that, but what, 40 minutes?
Nah, it's all good.
Your brain is flooded with information, man. That's what's beautiful.
I can touch on so many different things, bro. But what I was just talking about the whole just focusing on what you need to do. And I think some people get caught up on what everybody else is doing, man, and how everybody else is doing it. And I'm like, you can't worry about that, man. There's a lot of people that are worried about what other people are doing and other people's success. And I'm like, why do you even care about what that dude is doing, man? And if he made it, that should inspire you. Like, that means you can do it too. So focus on what you need to do and stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. And you might get some things accomplished, man.
You just might.
You just might.
Directing your attention.
Try it out.
That's important, man. Hey, that's what we need to do, I guess. So forget the negative things or look at them in a positive, broader perspective, you know, and treat it as a training ground instead of dwelling on them like he was saying. But I feel that. But hey guys, we're gonna close this out, man. We just had a short conversation, man. This is episode 8, Purity Podcast. Don't be afraid to comment. And Courtney, go ahead and let them know what the name of your podcast, what it's gonna be, so they can be on the lookout for the next how long do you think? Couple weeks?
Man, we moving
3
fast,
weeks.
so we still looking at names and stuff. But hear me out. Is something that I'm really. I don't even want to put it out, but I'm gonna put that out.
Hey,
Hear me out is what we're thinking. It is the podcast name that I was thinking about. So I think we're gonna have it going in a few weeks, maybe a couple weeks, maybe next week. Who knows?
There's no telling.
I gotta move at my pace. So
at his pace, but through determination to get it done.
It's gonna get done, man.
Say, man. So hey guys, I hope you guys are listening, man, and you know, as I always say, man, just be mindful to those feelings and those emotions as they arise and as they seize, man. Everything is temporary. Nothing is permanent. Everything is impermanent. So just acknowledge that, man. You guys take care. Pretty Podcast.
It ain't the time for you to walk if I won't let go. I can tell that ain't what you want, but it's like you can't let it show. But I've tried again and again to give you what I need, but you deny. And I chose you 'cause you're all I need, and you chose your man, but your man ain't me. So don't call my phone, acting like you care. I done made my move, I know life ain't fair.